Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I'm just gonna double check my audio. Okay, well, this should be good. And anyone let me know if there's an echo. Super excited for this stream and a little nervous. Oh, I'm really nervous actually. I prepared a few scenes. So this live stream is going to be a bit different. Where I'm going to try and put some fun into this, a little twist. I prepared a few scenes, iconic scenes, mostly food-based, and I was hoping to have everyone guess what scene of what movie or what TV show I'm trying to recreate. I'm a little nervous. It's because I'm not sure if anyone will get it. That will suck. I'm sure this one is pretty iconic. This turned out pretty well. And I have to say, Houdini's new MPM solver from the 20.5 release is amazing. It's very, very fast. And that made it possible to create all these mini scenes because it's so fast. Like, you need to try. It's not just creating the scene, it's experimenting, concepting to get the right look. So this is hopefully this will be fun. It's a little nerve-wracking for me. I'm super nervous. Flaming Burrito, Damon, welcome. Shout out to Flaming Burrito who helped me test some of these scenes. I wasn't confident enough to just show it to you guys. I had to test it on a couple of people. Flaming Burrito got almost all of them. Oh, there is a couple of scenes I added last minute. Let me see. Let's see which ones. Actually, I just added one more. So there's a new scene that Flaming Burrito hasn't seen. I've turned down the resolution. I think I did. I'm not very good at these YouTube settings. It should be broadcasting on HD, not my usual 4K, just because I thought lowering the delay would help. And after each scene, I can talk just briefly how I made the scene. So there will be a bit of a tutorial part in here. Most of the scenes were made using the awesome MPM solver, which is super fast. Very easy, very easy. This is very important for me. Very easy to use. It's really just drop and drag. Like, actually, we can do a quick demo. I'm trying to resize the screen. Oh, I should put it on the other side, maybe. Okay, let me make this smaller. And then relay out the real estate on my monitor. Okay, this should work. Okay, something like this. Okay, by the way, if anyone gets this scene, you can type it in. What food what iconic TV show did this food come from? Or what I'm trying to... What I was trying to recreate. So the new NPM solver. If you just type in NPM, it'll list you all these different things. So SidefX noticed that I really liked, and I'm pretty sure this is really popular, the configurations. The pre-configurations of the solvers, these are really, really handy. And I think SidefX knows about this, and a lot of people like this as well. These are pre-configured, so that means you just choose something. It already works. It's a fully working simulation. And then you just drop it in. It might not suit exactly your needs, but choose something very close to your project, and then you can modify it. So it's a much faster workflow that way. So, okay, you have your jelly. Okay, maybe this is not exactly what you need. Maybe I just need one jello. Well, you just delete this Okay, let me select this. Just delete this guy and just put in your geometry. I don't know. Our favorite rubber toy. So you can just put this guy in and just connect. Okay, connect. 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 And there you go. You have something that is a little bit more customized for your needs. So this workflow is extremely fast. This is really nice. This is really nice. I already know this one, but I won't spoil it. Yeah, this one is really iconic. And thank you so much for helping me prepare these scenes. Really, really came in handy. Let's see. Well, let me talk just a bit how I created this jello. Let me just delete this. Ring the stapler. Okay, let me paste it in. Since this is really iconic, I think it's okay. I do have little hints all over in the names of the nodes, so that might give it away. But this one is iconic enough. I think it's okay. Oh, but I don't need to open two windows. Wait, let me close this. Open this. Let's see. And what I really wanted to do was play it and show you how fast this is real time. So at the beginning, it needs to cook. The NPM solver does need to cook a bit at the beginning. So it needs to think. But after that, look how blazing fast this is. This is real time cooking, real time cooking for a simulation. Let me see if I can okay, that's pretty good. So I turned the jello into a wireframe so we can actually see the stapler inside. Okay, this is cache playback. Let me turn this on here so it's playing more accurately to the frames per second. Very, very fast. So at the beginning, when I create this jello scene, I had cut out a piece in this jello just so there was a hole for the stapler to fit in. But that didn't work out very well when I started rendering it. The simulation was okay. It could handle it, but when I started rendering it, there was all these artifacts in lighting. So then I noticed if I just stick the stapler in it so the stapler is not actually part of the simulation. It's not colliding with the jello at all. Just to make my world simpler when I started rendering it. I'm just trying to find the screenshot where I did oh, I know where it is. So there's a screenshot of where the lighting gets messed up when it's actually cut out from all this. So this is the one that's actually cut out. And you can see it kind of like, you can see the rendering is not as great just because it starts to get in and out. There's actually a surface inside the jello since I cut it out, which didn't turn out great in the rendering. And that's why I realized you can just stick the stapler in it and just recreate the jiggling. And all you need to do is just match this jiggling motion and just transfer it to the stapler. So it looks like it's in it and it's wiggling with it. And that's just using a point to form. So I'm grabbing the point of form only reads how the jello is transforming and then extracting that motion and transferring it to the stapler just to recreate this. Well, well, I was a little afraid that there wouldn't be as much people showing up for this one because it's not actually a full tutorial. So I'll just give out the answer. Is this from the UK version? I've actually never watched the show before. I know that this is, I know of this iconic food just because it's everywhere. And I even saw it on the news. So this for those of you that are probably watching from the replay, it's from the TV show The Office. Let me pull up the render. Now this I can't replay in real time. Yes, actually I didn't post the link to the Discord. It was really because last night I spent most of the time trying to squeeze in one more scene. I was adding textures to the scene. So I created 5 scenes for you guys to guess. And that not all of them has textures just because it takes incredibly long to create so many scenes. But let's move on to the next one. And you'll see what I mean. The next one I spent last night doing this last minute. Oh no, it's the next one after this, but let me show you this one. Okay, here comes the next scene. Let's just move on to the next scene. I'm just loading it up. How should I show this? Okay, I'll show you the viewport first, and then I'll show you the rendered version. Let's see if anyone gets this. And Flaming Burrito, you can guess this one because you didn't see this one yet. Oh, and there's actually more. Oh, this has been happening a lot. It turns into wireframe when I add the fur. So let me just remove the fur. I'm just gonna grab some water. It's a little harder without the textures. Or maybe it might not even look like what I think it looks like. I did test this on someone else and they got it. But I don't know how long they took. They might have been Googling it though. It gives me a Minions vibe. But I can tell it's a banana. Yes, you're right on the spot. It is based, you're in the right place. Let me show you the rendered version. Close this. Give it a second. Okay. I think I need a little bit more work on the lighting. A lot of these scenes were done really, really quickly. It's based off, you're at the right category. It's based on a particular scene. And they have so many movies. Is it from a movie or a TV show? You're right about the Minions. It is from Minions. It's a very particular scene in the Minions. And they're bananas. They're actually bananas in that particular scene. Oh, you never actually seen the Minions movie. Oh. Well, it is from the Minions movie. It's the scene where gosh, I forgot their names. Where I think it's Dave. He hallucinates bananas. He's hallucinating Bob and Kevin to be bananas because he's so hungry and they're stuck in the middle of a boat in the middle of like an ocean or something. I think it's at the beginning of the movie. Minions bananas. Yeah. It's a very particular scene. But I guess the goggles gives it away. And the yellow texture. So the textures does help. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Well, this one I've talked about how I create the banana in the previous scenes, and this one doesn't have much to it. The coat was done with vellum. Fur is just literally no grooming. I think there's like one guide groom node, and the goggles are just cylinders. So there's not much to modeling this one. Mostly comes from the texturing, which I use Substance Painter for. I know I haven't touched cops yet. How did you do the fur? Let me show you actually. Okay, I can do that. The fur is here. The fur isn't too much. I selected a part in the coat. So the coat is just this. I guess the drape. I'll give it a second to load. I'm gonna unfreeze this. Or actually I can just go like this. So it starts off with this, and then I have seam lines that tie it together. So it'll be like, so it snaps together. It's just 3 frames and a bunch of sewing. Then I select the top part and I just add fur to that. Just hair done. Remember when you're dealing with fur, like you can't really see it here? Well, okay. First of all, you can set the background to dark, move the ground, and come out to the geometry contacts. Select your geometry node and come here and shade open curves in viewport. That will allow you to see a bit better, like it'll shade it a bit better, but still there's like 2 options you have to enable. I think it's in geometry here. Shade open curves. So you have to have those 2 options enabled. And then you can see a bit better. It's still a little like, at least you can see the thickness. Like it goes thick to thin. So there's not much to it. There's a bit of frizz I added just to make it look a little fur-like. Like add a bit of noise to it. Okay. Let's see the next one. It's just loading on my other side. I should have cached this ahead of time. Okay, so I have a loaded... Okay, there it goes. Come on. So I don't know if anyone can get this. This trips everyone up. Mostly because the textures are not there. So I'm going to pull up the Substance Painter one. But I have to rename the title. Shoot. Okay. Okay, there we go. And I will remove the texture list. Okay, that should hide everything. So, yeah. Oh, actually, I can render it with the eye ray. Now, I do have this set up in Karma, but I will show you in just a bit. So this is eye ray in Substance Painter. It's missing the middle just because I don't have UVs for this stretchy part. And for those of you that might recognize this, I'm reusing one of the assets from the previous vellum grains that I did. What was that one about? It was about food as well. Oh, the food design one. So that was one about the food design. It looks a lot better in Karma. So it was cheese last time, right? Yeah, it was cheese. It's still cheese now. But without the cheese color. So let me show it to you in Karma. Let me turn off the eye ray. Let's see. Preview. Drag it over. Just give it a second to load all the compilers. So it looks a lot better in Karma. Ooh. Oh, let me see. Oh. I think I should turn on the denoiser. Image out. Filters, denoiser. Okay, now the denoiser is on. But it's mostly based on texture, so I think it's okay. I need to work a bit more on this. I need more grease on the meat. And the bread looks a little plasticky. So this was textured last minute yesterday. Well, I'm just gonna this is actually from a scene from SpongeBob SquarePants, or the Krabby Patty. I actually haven't seen it, but I've seen this. Someone sculpt this on the Pixelogic channel, and it looks way better than mine. I actually haven't tried the new cops in Houdini. I've been meaning to. Everyone's excited about the new COPS system released in 20.5 in Houdini. But it's another learning curve. And I have to like sit down and learn it all over again. It is very different from Substance Painter. But a lot of people have expressed that Substance is it's another cost on top of Houdini. So then it adds up the budget. That I understand. I am thinking of creating like a tutorial that is all in Houdini from scratch. You create your model from scratch, and then now that we have COPS, the new fancy 20.5 COPS, we can actually texture it and we can do everything into Houdini. We don't have to ever leave ever. So that would be really cool. I think a lot of people would benefit from that. But it does take a lot longer because Substance Painter is much faster. It's like Photoshop, but 3D. But at least now that we have COPS, the new fancy COPS, I think we can do a lot of procedural generation. We can create a lot of assets that are completely procedural, like generate not only the geometry and the textures, procedural textures. So that would be really exciting. Yeah, a lot of people express that the software adds up. Like you have Houdini, then you have your texturing, and then you have your animation software if you have animation like mocap or anything. And then you have to have Photoshop if you're doing like fancy posters. Or if you have post-processing, like compositing, then you have to buy another software. Or you could use DaVinci. DaVinci is free. But it does add another learning curve to it. So at least if we have everything in Houdini, it would be a little easier. Like at least it's inside within the same software. So it minimizes the learning curve a bit. At least you don't have to relearn the UI. This one I think I can play back in real time. This one is using the NPM solver. But it's quite slow just because it's not as fast as the previous scenes because I have so many little things in there. So the bag is an NPM source, and the little... I'm trying to describe it without giving it away. Are all individual NPM sources. I have not used the render farm service. Those services get pretty costly really quickly just because one render takes so long. Like I wouldn't use it for small projects. If you use it for large projects, then it gets really, like, it adds up. If you use it for small projects, it doesn't seem like it's worth the money. If you use it for large projects, it gets really costly. So it's always a balancing act. So I haven't used I'd rather buy more hardware and try and stack it and create my own little farm and take a little bit longer, because that way you can render multiple ones, multiple versions, and keep iterating through it without any cost, because you would own everything. You could just do it as many times as you want. I think I looked at it. I got scared. Yeah, the cost gets pretty pricey. And if you do something wrong, if you have the setup incorrectly, then it's gonna like end really badly. I want to go into the render. Yes, this is supposed to be from a movie. But I just realized I shouldn't have colored all the little things inside. That probably didn't make sense. I should remove the color. I wonder if I can remove the color right now. Let's see. Okay, let's see if that works. Oh, that did not update. This is from a live action. I wonder why they didn't update. It's all of them are supposed to be white. I forgot to remove the color. I only added the color so I could test it. Roughness. I'm actually not sure why it won't update. Assignment. Okay, there it goes. Let's just give it a second. They're all supposed to be white. The one from Willy Wonka ones. No. Okay, this might be a bit better. This might be a bit easier. It's actually from a movie that I believe is released today on streaming. They're supposed to be moving inside, but I can't play that back real time. Oh, let me see if I cache something. So they're supposed to be moving. So this was pre-cached last night. So they're moving in the bag. No, not black and white movie. They're supposed to come out of the bag. And it's a type of sweet snack. The white little candies are marshmallows. This one was tough because it doesn't really look as iconic in the movie. Yeah, it's from Ghostbusters. It's the scene where the marshmallow ones, the guy that plays Ant-Man, he goes into Walmart, and then the whole Walmart is taken over by the Marshmallow Man. And one of them pops out of the bag, and he pokes it. It's I haven't seen the latest one. The latest one just got released today on streaming. The Last Empire, which has like everyone except for Chris Hemsworth and like the girl team. Except for that one. That one was actually based off another universe apparently. Okay, let me close this. Let's see. So this one, I'm really surprised that Flaming Burrito got this right away. I showed this to a couple of people, they didn't really get it. So this one might be tricky for some of them, some people. Those are little pieces of chocolate. And I think I have to go like this. Okay. I do have a rendered one. Well, it only renders the chocolate though, because I didn't have time to texture everything. Oh, let me see if I can get the picture up. So this is based off a really old movie. But the scene is really iconic. Like, I think they showed this a lot in SNL. I've actually never watched this particular movie either, but this scene is so iconic. It's shown as a parody in a lot of different TV shows. It's gonna give it. Okay. I spent so much time doing the chocolate. It's actually my logo printed on it. Because I didn't know what the chocolate actually looked like in the movie. It's a really old movie, so the resolution is really... The quality of the movie isn't as clear. So I couldn't see what the chocolate looked like. And the movie's in black and white. Alright. So this one is actually based off... Oh, wait. I actually printed the name right here. Oh, darn. I didn't... Shoot. I should have hid it over here. So it is based off I Love Lucy. It's on a black and white TV show where they're trying to like the chocolate's base moving with the on the conveyor belt, and they have to wrap every single piece of chocolate. And there's two ladies that got bounced around in the chocolate factory, and this is their last chance to keep their job. And their job is to make sure every piece of chocolate gets wrapped before it leaves the conveyor belt on the other side. But they could, and in the middle, it just gets faster and faster and faster, and they couldn't keep up, so they kept on eating the chocolate. All the ones that they missed. And then hiding it everywhere. It's a very good classic movie. Let's see. Okay, this one I think a lot of people will get. Okay, I think this is better. I showed this to a few people and they got it right away. It's too iconic. Episodes of the show. Is the food in the middle vellum? The food in the middle is using the new NPM solver. So this was nice. Really nice and fast. Let me see if I can play it live. Play like the cache. Oh wait, I did cache it up. I'm trying to open a window. Oh, let me see if I can make this darker. So this is the spaghetti where it starts off with. This NPM solver is amazing. But this is off cache. This is file cached. But still, it's really, really fast. Let me see if I can do it live. Live simulating it. So the live simulation is pretty fast too. This is not file cached. And they're just wires, curved geometry from the lab's spiral node. And then I just threw down a poly wire on top of it to give it thickness. And then fed that into the NPM solver and it just works. Well, and I added a plate for the... Actually, I don't have the plate in the original simulation. It's just using the ground plane. And then the plate was added in later on for rendering. So those of you that haven't guessed or don't know this yet, it's from Lady and the Tramp. I don't have a texture for this one. This looks like brain juice. So this took a few tries to get right. I had to thin out the spaghetti, otherwise it looks like brain juice. Which is actually another thing. You can use this to create brains. So that's all the scenes I had prepared. So this was an experiment. Because usually it's very different from my usual tutorials that I've prepared ahead of time. I just wanted to do something casual and fun. Oh, I should do that for Halloween stream. I should. I should do that for brain juice and then put like lights, point lights inside and have it shine. Have it light up. Well, since we're done, let's see, let me close this. I can remove all these, bring this over. My favorite one is probably the burger. That turned out really nice. But I feel like I need to work on this. This turned out really nice. Except for the bun. Wish I had more time to fix up the bun. Because it looks a little plasticky. And I couldn't find sesame seeds. So this is actually just a grunge map. And I added height to it. It looks like flour. Like peanut butter burger from the other screen. Yes, it does actually. It does look like peanut butter on the other screen just because of the black and white. Like this one, I think you're referring to. Oh, okay, stay up there. Drag this down. Meat. I had a lot of fun doing the meat. The tomato needs a bit of work. It's too flat. The tomato looks like sausage. It was right before this one. Oh, right before this one. Oh, the karma viewport. Oh, I can't go back in that. That's the other side. I need to like make this a bit more specular, so like it's more oily. I think that would increase the realism. It's okay. Yeah, and the tomato's too flat. I may take this project of this burger and just keep improving this and see how realistic I can get this. And I'm missing lettuce. I need lettuce. Oh, does the original Krabby Patty have lettuce though? Not sure. Let me see. SpongeBob. Oh, it does have lettuce. It has cheese, lettuce, and it has some sort of purple thing. The Krabby Patty has lettuce. Yeah, I really should add more lettuce. And instead of the cheese, oh, I guess the original Krabby Patty isn't cheese, is it? It's that jello thing that you were telling me about. The purple thing is onions. Oh, it's onions? Oh, how do I render that? Oh, that's exciting. Oh yeah, this guy definitely needs more work. It'll be so fun once I finish it. And the tomato slice goes on the top. And I think this cheese thing, it's not really cheese. The original screenshot or the original scene in that I was trying to recreate isn't cheese. It's that jellyfish thing. Yes, but in that specific episode uses jellyfish. I should put a jellyfish right next to it, squirting it in. That would be really cool. And render it like the stretching, the vellum grains stretching out. I think if I render that as an animation and have it like cooked out, simulated out, that would look really nice. So much work needs to be added to this though, but it has so much potential. Add fries in a drink, make a bubblepins meal. A bubblepins meal. Happy Meal from McDonald's. McDonald's. McBubbles. I was just thinking. So you can get a bubble drink. Or bubble soda. What do you usually prefer to use? Karma CPU or Karma XPU? I prefer to use XPU just because my graphics card is a little faster than my CPU. It all depends on your setup. But you need to know that there are limitations to the XPU. I believe the Vex materials, if memory serves me right, the Vex materials are not compatible with XPU. And SideFX has wrote in their documentation, I believe, that they have no plans of further development on Vex to make it available on XPU. So they're pushing the MTLX materials. Each meal would come with an Oliver toy. Oh, that's so neat. Oliver is a teddy bear that I had created when I first started. So it's the very first character I ever designed. And I stick it all over the place in my projects whenever I can. So you get a little teddy bear. So Oliver could be grabbing a bite out of this burger. Oh, I really got to work on that. I'm getting really excited for that. Oh, that'd be so sweet. And then having a bite mark out of the burger. Oh, that'd be so sweet. And then I can design, well, in McDonald's, you have like that little box that they give you in the Happy Meal. I can design the box, the graphics for the box. Oh, that would be so cool. Yeah, this burger has so much potential. I'm just digging up some of the... I've been so obsessed with these food things. So I've been working on... Before I had this idea for this gamification of this charades, I was working on a lot of these candy things where I stuck my like fake candy, these lollipops. Oh, let's see. Ah. Let's see. So this is the lollipop inside with the wrapper unwrapped. And the chocolate bar was particularly very more popular on my IG. A lot of people liked it. This is like... Where's the wrapper? I made a wrapper for this. That was really fun. Here. bubblepins chocolate bar. So that was what I was working on before the Jello in stapler. Vending machine. This is still in the works. I'm missing the handle, and if you look closely, it's not an M&M. It's a bubblepins candy. I just threw in my label in every single one of these. The cracked turned out pretty sweet. It took a while to get the rendering right. So this crack is actually a simulation in Substance Painter. So a lot of people don't know that you can actually simulate stuff in Substance Painter. Really, really simple stuff. Let me see if I can open this up. And this crack was a simulation. It was a particle simulation. And we can actually do one live. So this is one of the reasons I really love Painter, because it's so easy. But yes, it does add to the cost just because it's so easy to use. Ease of convenience. It usually costs. So this is the crack. Scratches. Okay, I'm just gonna take the scratches out, take the crack out. How should I do this? Oops. Okay, let me add a new one. Brush. Let's grab a brush. So I'm going to add a paint layer. Let's see what this layer looks like first. Window, views. Where is my paint layer? Oh, it's right here. Okay. I used what brush? Colors, so opacity, okay. This one, opacity, okay. This one is everything, okay. So I just have this, grab a brush, paint, physical paint. So there's a physical paint. Oh, you can't see it. So I do have to grab the opacity. The height, roughness. Oh, okay, that was in the way. Scratches. Opacity and roughness. Okay. Opacity and roughness. Physical paint. I think I have to turn it around. Color. Let's make it black so we can actually see it. Okay. There are different brushes that you can use. Crack. Was it this one? Oh, this is the one I used. I'm going to extend the particle life. Particle speed, leave that. Randomize, it's good. Okay. And that's how I created the mask for the cracks. And then you have to load it back into Karma. And the settings to get this refraction took a few tries to play around with. But this mask is really nice. So if you put it on opacity, I believe. Yeah. This is the mask that you're going to generate. Let me see. Yeah. So this is the UV. So this is the UV. And once you export it, you can plug it into Karma. And then let me see if I can show you. Oh, that's in a different project, right? So let's see. The best to show you, because it's not just plugging it into the transmission. You do have to play around with the roughness, the color. And I believe I had to invert, because the crack is actually black in Substance Painter. And the white part is the white opacity part. It's flipped. The black and white is inverted. You need the white as the actual crack and the black as the rest of the glass for the opacity. So that was a little tricky to get. It took a few tries, but it was really fun. It looks really nice after you get this refraction working inside Karma. The best thing is that you can create cracks everywhere with this particle simulation. So I can just click and it'll crack it over here. And you can. But a lot of people will argue that you can actually do this in Houdini, and you can. You really can. It just takes a bit of time. Like, it gets really hard to do everything in Houdini when you're on a time crunch, like if you don't have all the time in the world. But I can see how a lot of people would have, like, it does add up with the cost. To have everything inside Houdini is a really nice option to at least know how to do it. So I think there's value in actually creating a tutorial for this. Just give it 1 second to load, or a few seconds. Okay. I just want to show you how I loaded in the crack. Because it's not straightforward as plug and play. Glass ball. I think it was this one. So this is the opacity mask that you get from Substance Painter. So this is what I get. This guy is the opacity mask. You bring it into Karma. Come on. And I had to exaggerate the transmission color so that it would show up a bit better. Come on. Okay. So I exaggerated the transmission color. You can see that I grabbed the white and pushed it all the way up so you can see more of it. This is the actual transmission, this one. And then this one is the opacity. The opacity wasn't too necessary. The refraction really comes from the transmission. So if I disconnect this opacity, let me just put opacity. Otherwise I may forget. I will disconnect this. Opacity. So you need to have a bit of it. You can have like a static value. The whole thing is opaque. Not opaque because it's glass. Or you can have this, and then in the transmission, this one, you can pump it up. If you don't want to rely on the opacity, you can pump this up. I think I have to turn it around. Okay, let's disconnect the color. Yeah, there's too much color. So if I don't want to rely on the opacity, I just want to rely on the transmission. It does take a bit longer to render because now you're doing transparent material. So it's doing all this light refraction and light transmission, and light's going through and bouncing in different ways, and you have this fishbowl effect. The opacity helps a lot. One, it renders a lot faster to get what the effect that I was looking for. Versus just purely relying on the transmission. And here, I'm still getting that fishbowl effect. So I'm going to plug this into the transmission color to help it. So everything's just helping it grab that effect that I'm trying to get. Let me disconnect this one, which is plugging into the transmission. So what happens if we just rely on opacity and like ignore the transmission? Just give it a second. It should still be transparent just because we have the opacity in there, and we can still see the cracks because I have this plugged into the transmission color. No, actually you shouldn't be able to see that. Let's see, what's the default transmission value I plugged in? 1 second. 0. Yeah, you shouldn't. I don't think this even matters. Because I don't think you can show the transmission, the transmission color without with a 0 transmission value. So this is solely relying on the opacity. Opacity can do most of the work for you, but if you look carefully, you don't get that refraction from the crack, that nice refraction. Let me see, grab that picture in. This nice refraction. Oh. There's a bit of color refraction within the crack, which I really liked. If we plug it back in, let's see, this was color and this was transmission, I think. And this gives it that nice refraction. And the refraction is coming from the light bouncing off the candies, which have different colors on it. And that turned out really nice. I'm actually not sure what these triangles are. This was done really quickly. I didn't have that much time to go over it. Well, it's not finished either. I think they're lights. It's the it might be the refraction of my lights. Because I don't remember painting triangles on the for the scratches of the glass. Oh, let's see. And I think this was using the NPM solver as well. Let me see. Let me take a look. To get the candy in the bowl, I needed to use a solver. I'm not sure. Maybe I used RBD. Oh, I did use RBD. So I just dumped a bunch of candy. A lot of candy. And the RBD solver is really fast. So I guess it's comparable to the NPM solver. But this was file cached. This is not real-time cook. This is file cached. Now setting up the materials and rendering this in Karma is a bit different from what you usually do. Or the good practice way is to use the instancer in Karma. But I'm still getting used to setting it up, so I don't always use it. But it's a good practice to use it. Here, I'm actually just unpacking it, unpacking all of the candies individually, and it's becoming one giant ball, a huge geometry, which you shouldn't do. You should use the instancer because you just need one geometry. You just need one piece of candy, and you want to instance it all like into the bowl and using the simulation points. But I'm still getting used to setting it up. I know how to set it up, but it takes a bit of finicky work. Just throwing down material sometimes it's just so much faster. And I only need one shot. So if you are doing a simulation and like a whole animation render, definitely use the instancer. It speeds up the rendering process a lot. If you just have one shot, like me, just one image that you need, then I guess it doesn't really matter too much. All right, that's about it. So this session was a bit different. I just wanted to experiment how different ways of doing video formats. I had a lot of fun recreating it, but it was a little nerve-wracking just because I wasn't sure if anyone would get it or if anyone would show up just because it wasn't a full tutorial. So the next one, I don't know what I'll do for the next one. I'm probably gonna I really want to do a Substance Painter to like a Houdini to Substance Painter to Unreal Engine workflow and try and create as high quality assets. The goal is to create very high quality assets and stick them into Unreal. But I know a lot of people really want to stay within the Houdini world and avoid those extra software costs. So Cops is definitely on my list to learning list. I'm probably gonna try it this weekend, and if it's not too hard, I'm probably like get obsessed about it. I do have so many things I want to do. I'm also working on this tool. I don't know if anyone's heard of Big, Medium, Small. I love the guy's assets. He has such high quality assets, and yes, they are pricey, but in comparison to other services, other places where you can purchase high quality assets, his assets are pretty affordable when they go on sale. I always buy them on sale. But the point is, he has very, very, very high quality assets for a somewhat affordable price. And I've always wanted to do a short animation film. So the only unfortunate part is that he doesn't prioritize Houdini as part of the package. So all his assets are ready-made for Unreal and ready-made for Blender. He even has generators that he releases along with the bundles for Blender, because he's a huge Blender fan. But I'm a huge Houdini fan. So I'm creating this asset that will help. I'm just pulling it up. Oh, where did I put it? One second. All his textures come in a very different file structure that is not compatible with my Karma material generator, my Karma HDA generator. So I needed some way either upgrade this material generator to read his assets. Oh, it's right here. So either upgrade the material generator to read this file format, or figure out some way to like organize these files to fit my generator. I tried the first option, but it's really hard scripting something from inside Houdini to read this file format. So as a stepping stone, I created a Python script to actually just put these guys in a file structure that's suitable for my generator, because this file name works pretty well for my file generator. I can do a live for you. After you can get this in the right file structure. So my HDA requires subfolders. It needs it in like this. This is one object. This is the material. You can see that it's a subfolder. There's multiple subfolders versus the original that it came in. It's like flat list. Everything bunched in this one level. Like color correction for renders and stuff. Oh, using cops for compositing in Houdini. No, I actually haven't done that. I have never used cops to do compositing, which is funny because that's what it's supposed. That was the original intention of the feature. I've used cops before to create textures, like before 20.5 came out with the new fancy update. I've used it to create rock textures before. I think it was based off of a course I did before, but the textures that came out of the cops, like this was years ago, it wasn't tileable, so I had struggled so much with the UV seams. What do you use for compositing? I've been into DaVinci, the color page specifically. I don't really do much compositing just because I'm just sticking AOVs on top of each other. Like, I get everything from rendered from Houdini's Karma, and then all I really need to do is color correct them. There is one thing. I had just solved an issue that I was having with the Karma crypto mat. That was giving me a lot of headache just because the crypto mat was not showing up in DaVinci. And I need the crypto mat to color correct for the color page to correct specific parts. Like if I had a hero object, I wanted to color correct that specifically the hero object. I needed the crypto mat, the mask, the black and white mask, the alpha mask for it. And that information was in the crypto mat, but I couldn't read the crypto mat, so that was driving me nuts. But then I found someone in the forums that it's just a compatibility issue with the EXR. So if anyone has that same problem, it's a very specific problem. Just go into this render Karma. If I remember correctly, it was in the, where was it? Oh no, it's in the USD raw. Okay, here, husk rendering, this one. Enable legacy EXR mode. Once you enable this, the crypto mat will work. Works nicely, at least with DaVinci. Then I can get the crypto mat and plug it into the color page, and I can color correct stuff. That's all I really ever use though, just color correcting. Just I don't have any live footage or any green screen stuff, so I don't need to rotoscope anything. If I ever really needed to rotoscope, I would use Nuke for rotoscoping, but I'm still learning Nuke. Nuke is very different. DaVinci is much easier to use. It's very easy to understand. But the rotoscoping, I feel like Nuke definitely has a bit more tools to it. Like the keen tools. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of keen tools. They have really awesome features. So it can actually recognize the entire object and map 3D geometry onto the footage or the image that you're trying to rotoscope. And that's incredible. I don't know how accurate it is because I've never actually used it. I'm still learning Nuke. It's a handful. So many things to learn. But anyways, yeah, I've been trying to get more high quality assets, but I need a way to get it into Houdini and then finally create a short film. Maybe. Nuke on my long list of stuff to learn. I heard it's great though. It is. I've heard it's the industry standard. So if you ever want to get really like professional, like work for someone in Hollywood or something, I think Nuke is the way to go. Well, that's what I've heard. I've never actually have any professional work in that. So it's best you ask someone else about that. I just make stuff work for me. If it works for me, it's good. Let's see. I don't know what else to show you guys. I could show you my script on how I'm trying to convert all these assets into something I can plug into my HDA. It's not very exciting though. It's still in the works, so you might see it a bit. It might be a bit buggy, but once it's in there, it should be. Here, I can actually show you the HDA in action. I believe this was working. Oh, let me stretch this up. Go up. Textures. Wherever. Here. And I'll choose this. And this is now loaded. So my HD requires those subfolders. These are all the names of the subfolders. So I have another script, another Python script that puts this flat list, which is what, when you buy Jamma's assets, the textures come in a flat list, but I need them in subfolders like this. So I wrote a Python script to put them in there. And once you get it in this file structure, my HD can finally read them. So all it does is reads every single subfolder and slaps it onto this drop down. So it's easier to set up the karma textures. So this is one great thing about his assets is that he names it very, very specifically. So this is really nice. This object or this hero asset matches the material name. So it's this one. Clear for Chrome. Okay. And then fill all this in. There's no height. I don't believe he has a height. Let me see. Let me just double check. Yeah, there's no height. There's a color, metal, normal, rough. Okay. Then create it. Let's see how it looks like. Now look at bunched up, but just press L and it'll line it up for you for the nodes. Give it a second to load up. Yeah, and there's the asset. Really, really nice. So this is from one of his refinery packs. I think it was the nuclear power plant pack. I'm not sure. I bought 2 bundles. One from the I was thinking of creating a nuclear power plant, but I don't think it was actually. Let's see. I think it was a refinery. But I was like, oh, that I can make it look like a nuclear. Oh, it's called Industrial Zone. So this is the guy. This is one of the assets from him. This is one of the ones I bought. I thought this looked, this thing, I was aiming for this would look nice with, I also bought the mech pack. So these 2 packs, I think I can create a really nice scene. I just need a story around it though. And add some pyro. I think that would look really, really nice. Well, that's all I had for you guys today. So tell me, what do you guys think about these HD tools? Is anyone interested in them? If so, I will start releasing some of these tools onto for the perk members. Otherwise, because right now they're just Python scripts. I don't know if anyone's comfortable in just executing Python scripts, or they want something fancy like a UI, click, click, click. Which can be done, but it'll take a bit longer. And probably be really buggy for the earlier versions. Well, that's all I had for today. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you all for sticking around. And this was more of an more experimental live stream. I'll see everyone's reaction and see how, if they like it, to see if I should create more of these, or maybe just go back to what works and just stick with tutorials. It was a magical time. Aw, thank you, Flaming Burrito. That's very, very nice of you. Well, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.